Stuck in my thumb, pulled out a plum and said, what a good boy am I.
Look, a magic puppet!
'Cause I'm a little boy, no strings attached. Thank you.
Heart, eighth note, exclamation point, question mark, or more commonly known as Geno, quickly rose to a fan-favorite Mario character over the years. Despite only having one major appearance in Super Mario RPG for many years, people just couldn't get enough of this wooden star soldier. He even became one of the most requested characters to join the Smash Bros. Roster from the Wii U era even into Ultimate. Many of these surveys / polls having him around the same demand as characters like Banjo-Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot, and even Sora, two of whom actually got into the game. So in this video, I wanted to look at everything related to Geno, how his character came to be behind the scenes, his role in Super Mario RPG, other appearances outside that game, and why people find this character so charming. For starters, Geno was designed by Yukiya Miyamoto and Hideo Minaba, with Kazuyuki Kirishima providing his early concept art. Geno's concept art looks much different from the final design Square settled on. It's clear Geno was always meant to be a spirit that inhabits an artificial body, though his proportions drastically changed over time. Originally, his look seemed to be a lot sharper, having spiky hair, more pointed limbs, and even carrying a star-themed sword. For a while, it seemed like the dev team wanted to settle on this edgier look version of Geno, because there ended up being 6 different concepts that looked more similar to each other than what was eventually settled on, 2 of which actually got colored. It's interesting how the first ever concept looked like it was wooden, while the later concept seemed to have Geno's body more metallic, like a knight's armor set or something along those lines. His final concept art shows a near identical design to his final one though, with the one exception being he's still carrying a star-themed sword. Sounds like the dev team really wanted Geno to use a sword at one point, but eventually decided on making Geno's battle attacks more projectile-based, which may have been the better choice in the long run in my opinion. The weapon variety Geno ended up having in the final version of the game is really great, and it may have been hard to replicate that same cool factor if they decided to give him only sword variant attacks. Leading up to the release of Super Mario RPG on the SNES, Square also stated Geno was meant to resemble the classic Italian children's novel character turned Disney icon, Pinocchio. In terms of physical appearance, these two are clearly much different, so Square likely used the Pinocchio comparison because they're both two characters that started off as lifeless dolls and gained sentient life through the power of a star. Not sure if this was something that was ever stated officially, but Geno's name doesn't seem like it was picked at random either. The name Geno is actually a real Italian name used for boys, meaning well-born or noble. 2 words that fit Geno's character perfectly due to him being a noble warrior of Star Road who desires to bring it back to its former glory more than anything. The Italian origin name may have also been intentional as well, since like I mentioned before, Pinocchio started off as an Italian children's novel all the way back in the 1800s. As for the story of Super Mario RPG, Geno doesn't appear as a member of Mario's party right away. Exor and the Smithy gang destroying the Star Road forces him to spring into action, but just not as soon as you might think. After Mario and Mallow collect the first star piece from Max/Clay Morton, they make their way to a place called Rosetown. By the time Mario and Mallow arrive in Rosetown, it's being overrun by members of the Smithy gang, specifically one of the head officers, Bowyer, and his endless onslaught of sentient arrows. Eventually, Mario and Mallow make their way to the town's inn, where they meet a toad boy named Gaz, who's playing with dolls modeled after Mario, Peach, and Bowser. But Gaz also has a unique doll named Geno. Gaz's mother notices Mario has walked in and requested he play with her son. Mario agrees and takes the role of Bowser while Gaz uses the Geno doll. Things seem fine at first until Gaz starts to get a bit too into the game, accidentally blasting Mario directly in the face with Geno's superstar shot action instead of hitting the Bowser doll, in turn knocking Mario completely unconscious for the rest of the night. Cut to later that night, a star spirit enters the inn, where it decides to possess the Geno doll because he thought it looked like the strongest of the 4 available. Geno takes it upon himself to go into the nearby forest maze to take on Bowyer for the star piece. Thankfully, Gaz was able to notice the now living Geno go there, allowing Mario and Mallow to gain access to the forest maze and find out what this mysterious doll is up to. The forest maze may look confusing at first, but once Mario was able to keep Geno in his sights, all he has to do is take each path that Geno takes, which will finally get everyone to Bowyer's hideout. Geno takes it upon himself to challenge Bowyer mano a mano for the green star piece. Geno is strong, but so is Bowyer, so things are looking a bit sketchy. Mario is able to take notice of this and wants to charge in guns blazing to help Geno. Mallow in particular is skeptical at first, but is able to swallow his fear and join Mario for the fight. Geno appreciates the sudden backup, where the 3 of them are able to take down Bowyer for good. Quick side note, in the Switch remake, this is also where the concept of triple moves are first introduced. So it's possible to take Bowyer down with the Mario, Mallow, Geno exclusive triple move, Star Riders. Once Bowyer has been dealt with, Geno gives Mario and Mallow the rundown of who he is, explaining how he's a Star Warrior sent from a higher authority to take down the Smithy Gang and in turn repair the Star Road. Because Exor destroyed the Star Road before crashing into Bowser's castle, wishes haven't been able to be granted and won't be able to get granted anymore unless the Star Road gets fixed. Appreciative of their fighting spirit, Geno decides to join Mario's party for the remainder of the journey. In battle, Geno is very hyper-offensive, probably the most attack-centric party member in the game besides maybe Mario himself. His base stats start at 45 for HP, 30 for speed, 60 attack, 23 defense, 25 magic attack, and 17 magic defense, making him the fastest party member in the game at base by extension. Through enough level ups, Geno gets access to 5 different special moves. Geno Beam is the standard singular damage ability. Geno Boost can boost the attack and defense of himself or any other party member on the field. Geno Whirl works as sort of an all or nothing move that has very tricky action command timing, but if done properly, it can deal 9,999 damage. However, it doesn't work on most bosses, with the only exceptions being Exor and Spiritovich clones. Not sure why it's just those two, but yeah. With the final two being Geno Blast and Geno Flash, which are both AoE damaging moves. Geno Flash just does a bit more since it's acquired from a later level up and costs more FP. His weapons range from the Finger Shot, Handgun, Double Punch, Hand Cannon, Star Gun, and Stella 23. Each one doing more damage than the last. Though it's worth noting the Stella 23 weapon is only in the Switch remake after defeating Booster in his rematch boss fight. Same thing goes for triple moves being Switch exclusive. The ones involving Geno are Star Riders, which does massive single target damage, Shooting Star Shot, which fires a barrage of stars at multiple enemies, and Sparasol, which makes everyone out on the field currently completely immune to one attack. Geno's in-game character bios are pretty funny too. In the original game's instruction booklet, they say, a new hero who totes a mean gun and wears a stylin' cape. This is one doll you don't want to mess with. However, in the Switch version, the English website changed it quite a bit, where it now says, a powerful protector of Star Road taking the form of a humble doll. Geno puppeteers his own style of moves like Geno Beam and Geno Boost. Needless to say, the first one went for a more casual approach. Mario, Geno, and friends would continue their search for the star pieces, having to take down more members of the Smithy Gang like Spiritovich, the Axum Rangers, and Exor alike, eventually leading into the weapons world where Smithy himself resides. Smithy proved to be no pushover in battle either. Definitely one of the more challenging bosses, but even he was not enough to deal with the combined power of Mario, Mallow, Geno, Bowser, and Peach. After Smithy's defeat, it's now time for Geno to head back to Star Road. He says his goodbyes to the friends he's made along the way, smiling as his star form leaves the doll's body and brings all the star pieces back to the Star Road, where shortly after, we can see the now lifeless Geno doll with Mario and the rest as they watch Exor disappear from their world, preventing the Smithy Gang from ever coming back. Smithy's defeat may have been Mario and friends' last time they'd thought they'd seen Geno, but his star form appears alongside everyone else to watch the celebratory fireworks in Marymore. There's also the Switch remake exclusive stuff where Geno in particular is the one to notice some of the old bosses wishing for rematches, with said wishes being sent to Star Hill. Geno would continue to make a few minor appearances in other games outside of Super Mario RPG related ones, like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. When Mario and Luigi play the arcade game in Little Fungi Town, Geno serves as the AI that explains the rules of the game to the brothers. However, Geno did not reprise his cameo in the Superstar Saga remake on the 3DS, perhaps due to there being some kind of issues with Square Enix allowing him to appear again behind the scenes. I don't think a definitive reason was ever given though, so not 100% sure. Despite being such a heavily requested character to join Smash over the years, Geno never got the proper chance to fight alongside everyone else. However, Nintendo and Sakurai did make a light exception. In 2015, when Smash 3DS and Wii U were still the main Smash games, DLC costumes were released for the Mii characters, with Geno's costume being exclusive to the Mii Gunner class. Very fitting time to come out because Final Fantasy VII's Cloud joined the fray as the next actual fighter. With both characters being owned by Square Enix, I'm sure the decision to release the Geno costume at the same time was 100% intentional. Geno's Mii costume would appear again in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Switch, though it wasn't available to use again until December 2020 alongside more Final Fantasy-based costumes and the addition of Sephiroth. Once again, 100% intentional. Geno also makes a cameo as a spirit fighter in the World of Light mode, where he's represented as Sheik. Mallow's represented as Kirby, and the other three, of course, just being themselves. themselves. Geno's most recent appearance pre-RPG Remake's release date was during a Tetris 99 event that ran from November 9th to the 13th to promote the release of the remake. So with everything we know about Geno, why do you think everyone loves him so much? Personally, I feel like it's mostly for the simple fact that he's just really cool. This puppet being possessed by a star spirit serving a higher authority that has all these godly star-related attacks, super confident yet not annoying about it and cares for his fellow comrades. Geno is the closest thing Mario fans have gotten to a male version of Rosalina, an already beloved Mario side character who's become so popular to appear in multiple mainline titles and even playable in one, that being Super Mario 3D World. Some characters just have that natural cool factor and don't even need some, crazy backstory for people to love them. Like Zoro from One Piece, Sonic the Hedgehog, Link from Zelda, they just kind of got it like that. It's too bad that the likelihood of him appearing in more Mario games in the future is extremely low. Seeing he and Rosalina work together or just be in the same game together would be one of the coolest things a Mario game could do for me, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't cherish the few appearances he did have. I never would have imagined we'd get to see him again so soon, and we have the RPG remake to thank for that. Who knows, maybe liking and subscribing down below could improve his chances to appear again. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see more full story type videos like this for other Nintendo related characters in the future. I'd love to know your thoughts. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye bye.